Welcome back. Chapter 15, Catherine. Diagnosing Alzheimer's is a slow, methodical process. Symptoms appear gradually. At first, they're typically overlooked or minimized. When they reach the point of undeniability, other potential culprits, brain tumor, stroke, hydro, yeah, we started off early, are ruled out. In a small number of cases, genetic tests provide certainty, and brain scans can help afford a level of surety. But usually, it's a jigsaw method. Individual pieces are put together until the picture becomes clear. I know the exact moment I began to fear my mother might have Alzheimer's. It was 3 weeks ago. When I called her cell phone to find out why she wasn't home from the drugstore yet, she gotten lost. She didn't say so, not exactly, but it was obvious. After that, I watched her closely. The signs piled up so quickly it seemed impossible I'd missed them before. Still, I didn't catastrophize. I knew simpler reasons were likely the source of her symptoms. I insisted she make an appointment with a general practitioner. That was the protocol. When no obvious factor emerged to explain her brain fog, we proceeded to the next level and saw Dr. Chen. That morning in his office was when the puzzle pieces clicked into place. Seamlessly, ruthlessly. The picture was undeniable. It was past midnight now, and I'm in bed wide awake. My mother is on the other side of our shared wall. I walk around for hours after leaving Ethan's bar. I was in such a daze I have no memory of what path I followed, and I didn't notice blisters forming on both of my heels because I was wearing flats instead of my usual sneakers. I only turned towards home when I knew my mother would be asleep. I can't bear to see her. I should be exhausted, but I'm as wired as if I just drank a pot of coffee. I almost can't believe what Ethan revealed, that my mother might have drugged him, that she tried to ruin my relationship with him. Almost. Our apartment is as quiet as a graveyard now. I slip out of bed and pull on my robe. I walk out of my bedroom, my footsteps light, using the flashlight on my cell phone to guide me. I enter the living room and begin to search. Everyone keeps something from their past, a letter, a memento, a photo. If my mother has a talisman, she must have hidden it well. Even if she doesn't, some object I've seen 1,000 times before could hold new meaning now that I'm seeing my mother in a different light. I want to examine the tangible things that compose our lives. I begin in one corner of the room and work my way through a kind of search grid. I look under the carpet. I lift up every sofa cushion. I even peek behind the prints on our walls. There is nothing. I carry a chair into the kitchen so I can stand on it and peer all the way in the back of the high cupboards. There's nothing usually there other than a dusty box of Rice Krispies I wasn't aware we had. I step down and work my way through the lower cabinets. Our usual staples are there: rigatoni, pasta sauce, black beans, brown rice, granola bars, chamomile tea. I'm checking the storage drawers at the bottom of the oven when I hear the creak. That means my mother's door is opening. I turn off my flashlight as goosebumps rise on my skin. I can't tell if she's coming my way. There's no reason to feel afraid. I could say I'm getting a glass of water. It's not like she hasn't ever walked in on me in the kitchen and seen me doing just that. But my mother knows me well. I can't shake the sense that if she sees my face, she will instantly know what I'm up to. I hear the sounds of the toilet flush. Then a moment later, my mother's door closes. I wait a few breaths, then resume my search. My mother seemed to have materialized at the age of 18 when she had me. It's as if we were both born at the same time. She conceals her past well, but nobody moves through the world without leaving a trace. I can't find one in the kitchen, though. I walk back through the living room and see my mother's purse hanging on the hook by the front door. I walk towards it, lift it off, then carry it into my bedroom. I close my door and wait. I think I hear a faint rustling sound on the other side of the wall, but I can't say for sure. There's no way my mother would need something from her purse at this hour, I assure myself. I check the outer pockets first. All it contains are my mother's keys and the container of mace she keeps handy when she walks alone at night. Tucked inside the main section is a small makeup pouch that holds a cherry chapstick, unscented hand lotion, and an emery board. No surprise there. My mother has used cherry chapsticks for as long as I can remember, and she tries to take care of her hands since they get a beating at work. I take out her wallet and begin pulling items from its fold, placing them on my bedspread. I look at her driver's license first. In the photo, she is unsmiling. She has an ATM card for our joint account, a Visa credit card, and a few coupons. In the slot for cash are a lot of 5s and 1s, tip money. I feel around in the space behind the card slot panel and come across something else. I slide out 2 crispy $50 bills, which I guess my mom keeps for emergencies. But there's one more item tucked behind them. It's a different kind of card, one I didn't know she possessed. A library card. I turn it over in my hand and recognize her faded, nearly illegible signature on the back. Ruth M. Sterling. My mother used to take me to the library when I was younger. On my first visit, I got my very own card and felt so proud when the librarian slid the laminated rectangle over the counter to me. As I grew older, I began visiting the library on my own. My mother never asked to accompany me. She had mild dyslexia and isn't a big reader. She prefers TV and movies and listening to podcasts. I had no idea she got her own card, and I can't recall her ever once bringing home a library book. So why does she keep this in her wallet? I grip it tightly, staring down at my mother's signature, until I notice something about the 2 folded $50 bills. Now that they aren't compressed, they've yawned open, revealing something tucked in the center of the innermost bill, a small slip of paper. It's a receipt from a book my mother checked out from the library. The title is Understanding Alzheimer's. This makes sense. Even though my mother doesn't want to discuss her disease with me yet, she must be making an effort to learn more about it. So she could manipulate you. Then I noticed the date on the slip. She checked out the book nearly 5 months ago. My heart plummets. Did my mother's symptoms start even sooner than she told Dr. Chen? I stare at the library slip, not quite comprehending its meaning until the letters and numbers on it grow blurry. It's an innocuous piece of paper. Why does it feel imbued with menace? There's something I'm missing. A series of little clues in these simple objects that add up to something greater than their parts. A question nibbled at the corner of my mind, slowly forming before it burst into my conscience. If my mother got a library card recently for the sole purpose of reading Understanding Alzheimer's, why does her card look so old and worn, with the lamination peeling at one corner, as if she had used it hundreds of times? Dun, 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 dun. Maybe she has secretly checked out other books through the years, keeping the volumes hidden from me. But that doesn't make sense either. Unless her reading history is the talisman I've been searching for, maybe it's related to her past if she's trying to conceal it from me. Through the thin walls, I hear my mother's bed creak again. The noise propels me into motion. I stand up and tuck the library card into my sock drawer, then reassemble her wallet and tiptoe into the hallway, holding my breath until I've slid her purse back onto its hook. I return to my room, climb into my bed, pulling up the covers. My feet are icy and my head is beginning to ache. I keep turning over my strange discoveries in my mind, searching for their meaning. It takes me a long time to fall asleep. When I finally do, my dreams are restless. The next morning, I wait in bed, listening to my mother quietly go about her routine. Her footsteps pause in front of my door. I close my eyes quickly, prepared to feign sleep, but she doesn't knock or try to come in. A moment later, she leaves for work. The second the door closes behind her, I get up and dress, then head to the bathroom to cover my twin blisters with Band-Aids. I force myself to eat a banana to settle my sour stomach. When the closest library branch is open, I'm the first visitor to walk through its doors. I haven't been here in a while. My reading lately has been for school, and I'm relieved the first librarian I see is a middle-aged woman with dreadlocks and a nose ring. I've never seen her before, so hopefully she won't know the name on my card is the wrong one. I greet her with what I hope is a confident smile. Hi, this might sound strange, but I checked out a book a while ago and I wanted to recommend it to a friend, but I can't recall the title. Do you recall the topic of the book or what the cover looked like? I shake my head. I don't. I'm sorry. It sounds implausible. Why would I want to recommend a book I remember absolutely nothing about? I pressed on quickly. Is there any way to look up my browsing history? I hand her my mother's card, but she doesn't reach for it. I'm sorry, but we don't keep those records as long as the books are returned on time. My heart sinks. Let's try another way, she suggested. Have you ever returned a book late or lost one? I can't remember. The librarian's smile is kind. You would have received a fee? Maybe. I'm sorry. I'm not sure. Things have been a little confusing for me lately. She glances down at my mother's card. I'll be happy to check. Her fingers clicked across her computer keyboard. She shakes her head. No, I don't see anything. I nod and thank her, my heart sinking. I'm about to leave when I impulsively spin back around. Do you have a book titled Understanding Alzheimer's? Her fingers clicked again, and this time she nods. She comes out from behind the desk and leads me to the correct aisle, pulling a hardcover book off a shelf. I thank her and walk to a nearby chair, sitting down into it as I open the cover. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I feel compelled to hold the book my mother sought out. I flip through it, my eyes skimming the pages. Some of the information is academic, some anecdotal. That's another word. I don't know what that is, but it's all wrapped in clear language. One chapter is for caregivers, and it describes the turbulent emotions family members typically undergo when a loved one receives a diagnosis of Alzheimer's. I know this to be true because I see it all the time at work, and I've experienced it myself. There's a paragraph about a daughter whose father forgot to turn off the gas stove, nearly burning down the house, and another one about a son who says he knew something was wrong when his mother left a carton of eggs in a kitchen cupboard. I blink and reread the sentence, because that's exactly what your mama did. My mother did the exact same thing recently. I lean forward, my posture tightened, scanning the words faster. 2 pages later, there's another eerie familiar antidote. Oh, that's that word again, Family members could no longer deny the knowledge that something was terribly wrong when their beloved grandmother got lost on her way home from the neighborhood drugstore. My mouth dries up. There's a strange humming in my ears. It's as if the exact symptoms my mother experienced sprang on these very pages. I keep reading. One woman who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's forgot what month it was. A few days later, she called ice cubes water squares. You remember that. I'm hyperventilating. The book falls out of my hand, landing on the floor as I leap up and run outside. I'm aware of someone calling after me, asking if I'm okay. I collapse onto a bench in front of the library. My head is in my hand. The world around me is swirling too fast. It's dizzying. A suspicion is building in my brain, one so bizarre and terrifying I can't yet form the framework to express it. I no longer know what is real. Me either, girl. This must be what it feels like to lose your mind. A sob wrenches free from my throat and I begin to shake. My vision blurs. Then I hear someone's voice close by. Are you okay? I can't catch my breath to answer. I'm crying too hard. I feel a hand on my shoulder, and for a moment, I think it's my mother, that she has somehow tracked me down. Then I wipe my eyes and look up to see the librarian. Can I sit with you a minute? I nod and she joins me on the bench. She hands me a tissue, and for a few moments, as I dab my eyes and try to regain control of myself, she doesn't say anything. I'm sorry for whatever you're going through, she finally tells me. I manage to find my voice and thank her. If you need any help connecting to resources, we have a lot of information inside. I'll be there if you'd like to talk more. She gives my shoulder a squeeze and stands up before the meaning of her words hits me. I twist around to stare after her, but she has already disappeared into the building. In a 2-minute conversation with the librarian, I pretended to have multiple memory lapses. That, combined with my emotional breakdown, could have easily pointed her toward the wrong conclusion. Does the librarian suspect I might be suffering from a medical crisis, one with symptoms of severe memory loss, even early onset Alzheimer's, because of the way I presented myself to her? Something about those words nag at me. I dig my nails into my palms and force myself to focus on the facts I've been trying to assemble. My mother has no social life or close friends outside of me. My mother may have tried to destroy my relationship with Ethan. My mother has not made any noticeable mistakes at work, but she makes them frequently at home. My mother refused to undergo any test that could provide confirmation of her diagnosis. My mother got a library card and checked out a book about Alzheimer's disease at the same time I began to applying for jobs out of state 5 months ago. My mother began exhibiting textbook perfect signs of the disease, as if the book provided a blueprint she followed right before I planned to move away and begin a new life, one that would push her to the fringe of my world. My thoughts circle back, retracing them. Diagnosing Alzheimer's is a slow, methodical process. Usually it's a jigsaw method. Individual pieces are put together until the picture becomes clear. Reversing the diagnosis means moving the pieces into a different formation, testing out combinations until a fresh image clicks into place. The one I'm now creating is a mirror image of the original picture I held. It's a complete perspectival switch. The idea is monstrous, but I can't dismiss it. There could be nothing wrong with my mother. Nothing at all. Ooh, that is the end of chapter 15, honey. Let me tell you, I was thinking that her mother was faking, but then I was giving her mother the benefit of the doubt because we don't really know her story. But her daughter is putting these pieces together and it is sounding like her mother is faking. And My aunt said that they had a codependency upon each other, but it is looking like the mom is the one that's codependent on the daughter, and the daughter was feeling obligated to her mother, so to speak. So she went along with it until some light bulbs started ping, 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 and pinging and pinging. And look at here, she is finding out more and more about her mother. Now, what's getting ready to happen? She can't not talk to her mother now, right? Well, we're going to have to find out in the next chapter. Okay, so there were 2 words that I don't know the definition or know how to pronounce it. So stay tuned for the definition portion. Be right back. Okay, welcome back to the definition portion. The first word is spelled H-Y-D like David, R-O-C-E-P-H-A-L-U-S. And this is how it is pronounced.
Hydrocephalus.
Hydrocephalus. Hydrocephalus is a noun, a condition in which fluid accumulates in the brain, typically in young children, enlarging the head and sometimes causing brain damage. One more time.
Hydrocephalus.
Okay, hydrocephalus. When they reach the point of undeniability, other potential culprits, brain tumors, strokes, and hydrocephalus are ruled out. Okay, let's find the second word. The second word is spelled, oh wait, let me get it here first before I spell it. It is spelled A-N-E-C-D-O-T-A-L. Okay, and this is how it is pronounced.
Anecdotal.
Anecdotal. Okay, so it is an adjective, on of account, not necessarily true or reliable, because based on personal accounts rather than facts or research. Okay, one more time.
Anecdotal.
Anecdotal. Okay, some of the information is academic, some is anecdotal, but it's all wrapped in clear language. Okay, so that was that sentence. Let's see, it was here again. 2 pages later, there's another eerie, familiar anecdotal. Family members could no longer deny the knowledge that something was terribly wrong when their beloved grandmother got lost on her way home from the neighborhood drugstore. Okay, so that is the end of the definition video and the end of chapter 15. Next up will be Act 2, and we'll be starting at chapter 16. Bye.